Alrighty. Thank you, everybody. Um, Thank you all for your patience today, and thank you all for being part of our 2021 Disability Community Day of Mourning Vigil on this March 1st, 2021. My name is Jajan Pak, and I am one of the organizers for the event today, and it is our um, great honor to have you all to join us for today. I am going to give a quick, in terms of the agenda and the flow for tonight, I'm going to give a quick overview and then turn over to TJ, who will give you an overview and a little history about the Day of Mourning event. And then we will have a poetry reading and then move into the reading of our names, of the names for the video. As I mentioned, thank you for your permission for us to record this. So in terms of community agreements and as the flow, as I mentioned, part one of today's video is that we will be reading people's names and recognizing those individuals who were murdered by caregivers in 2020 and the first 2 months of 2021. We will also make note of notable people who were murdered by the police in 2020 and the first couple of months of 2021. We'll also recognize leaders of the disability community who have died in 2020 and the first couple of months of 2021. We will have a moment of reflection for people with disabilities who died of COVID in 2021 and the first couple of months of 2020. I'm sorry, 2020 and the first couple of months of 2021. It will be followed by a small section talking about self-care, because it is important we remember to take care of ourselves, with followed by acknowledgments. As mentioned, video will be recorded. You may choose to turn off your video and your camera or during this time. While speakers are talking, we do ask, and reading the names, we do ask that people be muted so that we're able to hear everyone's name. And understanding, because we are remembering and honoring individuals who have passed due to violence or COVID, it is sensitive, and if people need to step away, you're more than welcome to please take care of yourself. For part two of our vigil is our open mic section. During open mic, we will stop the recording, and this is an opportunity for open mic, which again, it says, which will not be recorded. We will use most of the rest of the time to allow people to react to the vigil. People are welcome to speak on the vigil and the subject matters, as well as to share resources, stories, reflect on what happened. One person, in terms of some ground rules, we would like to ask that one person speak at a time. You can either virtually raise your voice or make a note in the chat that you'd like to speak. Then everyone else, please take time to listen. We want to respect the idea of the idea or disagreeing with the idea, but respecting the person. We are all able to have disagreements of opinion, but we respect everybody. We do also ask that if you're making comments during open mic, that we want to hear what you say, but try as best as we can to be brief and You can also feel free to interact and put comments and remarks in the chat as well. Okay. And with I'm going to turn over to TJ.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is TJ Gordon, and I will go over a little bit the history of the Disability Community Day of Mourning. So, for those who don't know, the Disability Community Day of Mourning is a global vigil remembering the lives of people with disabilities who were killed by caregivers, usually local self advocacy, and disability led groups host a version of Disability Community Day of Mourning. For tonight's vigil, we will remember the lives of those who died as a result of caregiver violence between 2020 and 2021. We will also remember people with disabilities who died from COVID-19 and police violence, as well as leaders in the disability community who we lost in 2020 and 2021. So the Disability Community Day of Mourning started in 2012 by the Autistic Self Advocacy Network, or ASAN. But then we also started the local Disability Community Day of Mourning in 2017 by Autistics Against Curing Autism and Symposium of Autism and Neurodiversity at University of Chicago. So it was initially two self-advocacy groups that started the Community Day of Mourning. But it grew to other places as well besides Chicago. It is a nationwide, worldwide event. Since 2020, UIC's Institution on Disability and Human Development, as well as UIC's Disability Cultural Center, hosted the Chicago Vigil along with additional partners.
Sorry about that. And we're going to do a poetry reading. Again, I'd like to ask, is Kathy Saunders in the room? Maybe she had some technical. DJ, would you like to read the poem, please?
Sure, I would love to. So, the name of the poem I will be reading tonight is called Through Tear-Stained Eyes, written by Kathy Lynn Saunders. Today we gather to say goodbye, doing so through tear-stained eyes. We are so very sorry you lived in fear or in pain or with shame, murdered by the hand of your family members or caretakers' cruelty. Children, we are sorry that there will be no more lullaby, birthday cakes, holiday celebrations, or childhood of wonder. We will always love you and live with the pain of what you could have been if given time enough to grow up. Women, we grieve deeply for you as you suffer the black eyes, the burns, hidden contusions, and emotional and mental confusion of domestic violence at the hands of murderous spouse in the name of love. We care for you. And yes, we speak your tears. Sadly, we could not rescue you in time. For the young men who are not cried, abused by caretakers, we see you dying inside, fighting your masculinity, well aware of your feminine side. Young warrior, hiding festering injuries of male pride. Adult men who have known loving partners are able to cry without shame. LGBTQ, we accept and embrace you. Your community weeps for you too. I would have loved you through your pain, giving you kindness in spite of it. If nothing else, I, your female poetic ally, weep with love for you. The numbers of your murders make my heart ache, thinking of you in your grave, grieving the life I could not save. I regret there is nothing more I can do. Through tear-stained eyes, I cry inconsolable tears for you. Deeply sorry I could not understand the private desires of the transgender man with a disability. Please forgive me. Gather together now, giving all honor to every murdered man, woman, and child. Your living was not in vain. We will work hard and not tire, and by your life, be inspired. Your death gives meaning to the victim's plight. For now, let your spirit take flight, guided from this earth to your creator. By a host of angels with disabilities, working together, lifting you up. Allowing your broken spirits to rest and be at peace. Protected by the one-winged angels under whose shadow you each abide. The angel carries you gently to your creator, who showers each of you with loving kindness. Heals all wounds with a comforting touch, and until the end of time, holds each victim with disability so, caressing them softly in the palm of his hand. Rest in peace lovingly, your community of PWD.
Thank you. And Kayla, if we can start with our names, please.
People who lost their lives. Sorry, should I start?
Go ahead.
Okay. People with disabilities who lost their lives to murder in 2020. Isneth, Jordan Barrera, Rosalia Garofalo, Hinko Naude, Dustin Baguette, Samantha Roberts, James Tate, Thomas Balva, name unknown, Makisha Maynard, Derek Kristoff, Nolene Ann Marinovic, Chaba Curie, Masatoshi Chiba, Marvat Gurgis, David Alsop, Heather Wagoner, Grace Kaldenberg, Princess Chapman, Rajan Kushwaha.
Michika Hayashi, Shoko Takahashi, Mitsuo Oshima, Josiah Marquez, Thushendu Malik, Asma Akhtar, Kathy Obeldig, Ramdas Dahikar, Gladys Ambert, Damian Scott, Ruth Brown, Carolyn Mosley Walker, Umesh Balagi, name unknown, name unknown, Alejandro Ripley, India Martin, Isabel Rosen, name unknown, Willow Dunn.
Name unknown. Abigail Humes. Louise Smith. Name unknown. Sherelle Martin. Malin Mittens. JJ Wallow, I'm sorry, AJ Vallow, Diana Rosalie, Esteban Harless, Penelope Harless, Aviel Harless, Apollo Harless, April Zavala, Emmy Yamamoto, Billy Hobson, Kylie Mickens, Kylie Larson, Frederick Johnson, Ryu Sakayama, Lamarian Samore,
Clara Wright, Nicole Jakubek, Thaddeus Schran, Sarah Karan, John Miller III, Dylan Freeman, Sherith Von Der Ploeg, Leslie Hartman, name unknown, Shanthi, Donna Harbor, Abhijit Rakjuk, Yoko Shinya, Fat Long Wang, Nancy Arnold, name unknown, Pauline Langford, name unknown, R. Devaraju, Adrian White.
Saeed Nielsen, Mahala Lakshmi, name unknown, Thomas Goodall, name unknown, name unknown, Jamarian Javante Delancey, Vincent Avellino, name unknown, Saburo Sato, Joan Wheeler, Michael Montgomery, Shadapan Kamkia, Sonam, Manu Savalia, Guadalupe Martinez, Teru Inaba, Ikantakari. We also honor and remember the lives of people with disabilities who were killed by their caregivers, but were not on the memorial list.
People with disabilities who lost their lives to COVID-19 and police violence in 2020. I will read their name and age and approximate date of death. Tyree Davis, age 26, died January 2020. Misha Lee, age 18, died January 2020. Orlando, age 28, died January 2020. Eliezer Perez, age 51, died January 2020. Mubarak Suleiman, age 19, died January 2020. Manuel Manny Elijah Ellis, age 34, died March 2020. Daniel T. Prude, age 42, died March 2020. Valente Bustillos, age 52, died March 2020. April Dunn, age 33, died March 2020. Brian R. Miller, age 52, died April 2020. Sharon Gowdy, age 57, died April 2020. Drejan Sean Reed, age 21, died May 2020. Tony McDade, age 38, died May 2020. Michael Hickson, age 46, died June 2020. Carlos Carson, age 36, died June 2020. Marcellus Stinnett, age 19, died October 2020. JJ Boatman, age 9, died February 2021. We also remember the lives of 169,262 people with disabilities who died of COVID-19 in institutions, and unnamed people with disabilities who died from police brutality and COVID-19 in prisons and jails. Visit autisticadvocacy.org/COVID-19 for more information on COVID-19 in institutions and group homes or congregate settings.
We will now take a moment to remember the leaders in the disability community that we lost in 2020. Stacy Park Milburn, William Owens III, Sue Salthouse, Thomas Golden, David Toole, Joyce Eileen Scanlon, Chuck Graham, Michael Ziegler, Richard L. Thornburg, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We also remember those who are unnamed as well, who were also leaders in the disability community that we lost in 2020 and the first 2 months of 2021. Now, we will take a moment of silence and breathe and reflect. All right. So now we will enter the section on self-care. And these from tips from the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network, or ASAN. Can you go back a slide, please? Thank you. So attending a day of mourning vigil can stir strong emotions, and you might not know how to react or what to do afterwards. Here are some things you can do to help process what you are feeling. So we have 4 tips that you could explore. You could explore all 3 of them. I mean, all 4 of them, or any one of the 4. It is up to you. Remember that your feelings are valid, whatever they are. Listen to your body. If you need to cry, then cry. If you need to talk to someone, seek someone out who will listen. If you need to go somewhere to be alone for a while, do that. You can also give yourself a break at any point. Vigils can be incredibly emotionally draining, and it is okay if you can't do things at full capacity for a while afterwards. And lastly, I would offer a quote by Audre Lorde. She once said, "Caring for myself is not self-indulgence, it is self-preservation." And to sum up the essence of the quote by Lorde, take time for self-care. Please take time for self-care.
Thank you, TJ. And yes, thank you everyone again for being here. As we do remember and hear and read and just receive and remember the names of those who have passed in 2020 and in the first couple of months of 2021 from our disability community because of murder, police violence, or COVID. And we do remember them and we do value their lives. In closing this first part of our vigil, I just want to acknowledge, share some acknowledgements, and thank you to Timotheus T.J. Gordon Jr. for his leadership in coordinating this vigil. Myself, as I said, I'm Dejan Pak. Our partners, Margaret Fink and Lily Diego Johnson from the UIC's Disability Cultural Center, Helen Rotier from UIC CANS, our wonderful students, capstone students from DHT 400, Narita Rosas, Kayla Miner, Angelica Briones, and Marissa Leal. And again, our organizing organizations, the Chicagoland Disabled People of Color Coalition, or Chicagoland DPOC, the UIC Institute on Disability and Human Development, again, UIC's Disability and Cultural Center, UIC CANS, the Autism Project, and DHT 400. So again, to all of our partners and all of you for being here, thank you so much. And I am going to now, this concludes the first part of our vigil, and I'm going to turn off the recording as we move into part 2.